Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Please confirm I'm audible enough. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Power BI Bootcamp. Oof, it's been 2 weekends teaching you and learning with you, and it's safe to say that we've actually come a long way and we've learned a lot. Actually, I mean, it's not been easy. We've looked at data transformation, we've looked at data modeling. Yesterday, we went extensively into data visualization, and that's a lot in 2 weekends. If you ask me, that's actually a lot. And I just wanted to, first of all, appreciate everyone who has, been joining from the very first day up until now. One of my biggest fear when I'm organizing classes like this is because of retention, and that is why I wanted to squeeze everything into 2 weekends, because I realized that when you want to hold sessions like this that are free, even paid sessions, by the second day, by the third day, fourth day, the attendance starts declining. But it's safe to say that attendance has been fair, because from the very beginning till now, I think the first ever live, the first session that we did has over 9,000 views. Like over 9,000 people have actually watched that video. So it's amazing. And we still see up to 2,000 people like watching the videos, people that are joining live. Over, I think yesterday, over 300 people were live, and people are watching the recordings, up to 2,000 people. So I really believe that that's actually amazing, and kudos to all of you that have stayed till this point. um we have a lot to cover today, and because of that, I'm not going to rush, because I have spent the last 2 to 3 hours. I've been on my laptop for the past 2 to 3 hours trying to think of the best possible way to go about today's class. But because of, I also don't want to squeeze everything, because I said I was going to do 2 weekends. So what is going to happen today is we're going to continue with our data analysis expression class. Try to run, there's a lot to cover on data analysis expression, and remember my keyword, I don't gatekeep. So we're touching on everything, things that you will likely come across, all the DAX functions you likely come across in your day-to-day as a data analyst. We're going to look through them. Then once we are done, we'll do a quick capstone project, so you just see the difference between a visualization, between the dashboard we created yesterday, and when you have the knowledge of DAX, how rich it makes your analysis look. So that is what we're going to basically do today. And also, I'll be sharing after today's class, as usual, right? You get assignments. So there will be the normal quiz assignments that you will get, which is a multiple choice question. And you also get, like, depending on how far we go today, you get your final capstone project. I'm going to, in fact, anywhere we stop, I'll share that capstone project. So you get your final capstone project today, and there'll be like Elizabeth has begged for you guys. So because I left alone for me, I was going to say by Thursday everybody should have submitted, but Elizabeth has begged and said that we should give people the grace to do that project till next, so not this week, it's a new week, I mean, so till 2 weeks from now. Just count the next Thursday after this Thursday, so 2 Thursdays from now, you'd have the grace till then to actually submit your capstone. I'll share more details on that when we get to the end of the class. But I wanted to say, even though if you're joining this class thinking that this is the end, this is actually not the end. It's actually even the beginning, because we're going to be having lots and lots of sessions like this together over the next couple of months. So thank you very much again for being a part of the Power BI Bootcamp. So without wasting much time, I'm just going to continue from where we stop. But you know what I want to do? Like I said, I don't want to rush, right? if you have watched the recording, so if you're in class yesterday and there's something that's actually confusing you, I mean, we have our normal Q&A that we always do, right? We have it on Thursday as well. But if there's something that you think before I start today's class, Tina, just talk about it before we start today's class. Just drop that in the comments, okay? Just drop that in the comments and let's take that. So let's just do that quickly in the next 4 minutes. We'll start the class properly by 2:10 while we're still waiting for other people to join. I mean, the numbers are jumping up. I see we have over 180 people on the call now, but while we're waiting for other persons to join, please listen. Yes, there's actually, by the way, I was going to mention this, right? We actually have an hashtag because of those people that have been posting online. It will help me even track it. And the hashtag is actually Elizabeth, please, can you drop the hashtag that we add for our boot camp, so that just drop the hashtag so people can see that, and then we when they are posting they can always use that hashtag. Okay, I'm just trying to see if we can get this in. Can you show us how you added the currency value to the card? Is very straightforward. So for the person asking on how to add currency value, just what you need to do is click on the column, right? This is your sales column here. Sales. So click on sales on your column here, and then what you want to do is come to this place that you see the column tools become active. Just come here and select the dollar sign as straight and possible, as straight as ABC, or as simple as ABC. Okay, what again? I've answered this. I really need to know the relevance of dark, since we can visualize without it. Interesting. I like, oh, Tayo Bakari, so I'm not responding to you. I don't know if it's the same Bakari I responded to on the Slack this morning. But please, if it's the same Bakari, please just check the Slack message you sent to me. I think I dropped a response on there. I don't know if you delivered. But to go back, I really need to know the relevance of DAX. Like I mentioned, see, it's like I'll tell you something. What differentiates a good Power BI developer from a great Power BI developer is your use of DAX and great report design. I'll tell you that for free. And why do I say this? Now you can build this visualization, and that's why I say when we build our capstone, you understand what I mean. Now, when you build this visualization like this, fine, yes, I'm seeing all the insights, but there are several things that can make this dashboard way better. And you can only get that by writing DAX. And by the time we get to that, maybe we should just, you know what I would, some of you that still know, like maybe you don't like DAX because you feel like, oh yes, you can create your visualization without DAX. I want you to wait for when we do our, in fact, most of these doubts you have, just wait till when we finish the bootcamp. I tell you, oh, we have finished the bootcamp, I've taught you everything. Then you cannot ask me that, okay, what's now the need? Because by the time we're done, I'm very certain that you already have answers to some of these your questions. So it's actually very important. So another question says, let me see. How do we understand the general concept of DAX, and how can we apply its usage when necessary? So one thing I want to do after this class is, although I already have a book that I'm writing in the works, but what I want to do is about DAX, so that people can understand that better, especially in real world scenarios. But what I want to do is, after this I'm going to create a cheat sheet. Now this cheat sheet I'm going to create is not like your regular cheat sheet where you just see the DAX. I'm going to list out some of these popular DAX, the what they are used for, and some real live examples with it. So I'll create that cheat sheet and I would share with the community. Yes, Bakari, I responded to you on this thing. I've not been able to. I've been so busy. I've not been able to check my LinkedIn. I'm so sorry. Okay, good. I think we already have 233 persons and we're already on the 2:10 p.m. mark. So we can start today's class. Are we ready? If you're ready, just drop emojis, reactions, drop your favorite emojis and just say we're ready in the comment section so that we can begin. Okay, so yesterday, just to do a brief recap, yesterday, what did we talk about? We went through the various went through some of the aggregation functions that you will come across in DAX, right? We're able to look at sum, mean, max, divide, count, distance count. There are a lot of them. I don't think we looked at average, but I'm sure you already know what average does, right? Like, sort of looks at the average of a this thing, and you use your average function for that. So we want to go to into more advanced I want to go into more advanced formulas or functions, and we'll move into another category of functions that I call the filter functions. That I call the filter functions. Now, what these filter functions, they help you sort of control what data you want to include in a calculation, right? For example, your manager is telling you, or you are or you're a data analyst for the organization in the Western region, and you want to calculate, but the data you people have contains data for all the regions, right? Now, your manager is telling you that, please, can we get the total sales that have been made in the Western region, which is our region, right? How do you actually do that? You use a function called your calculate. Now, calculate function is a very powerful function in Power BI. Why do I say it's powerful? Now, calculate function has the ability to change a filter context. I'll show you something quickly. Let me bring this table visual here. Okay, let me increase my fonts. I sort of reduced it earlier on when I was working today because it was too big and was disturbing me. Let me see. I'm sure it's visible enough so we can see my cursor. So let's do something quickly, yeah? So I'm going to go to my location table and I want to bring in region, and then I will bring in this total sales that I have here. So this total sales, I want to format it as dollar because you can see that dollar sign is not showing. Let me I want to increase the value for this so that like we can see all the things in there. So I'll just go to my values. You know how to format your visual already. I just want to format this to maybe 20 so that it's visible enough and everybody can see it. I'll also do the column headers. I'll increase that as well. So I'm sure we can see what is going on here. So I'm just going to add this dollar sign over here. Good. So I'm just going to add this dollar sign over here. So now if you look at this, it's showing us what? The total sales for each of this region, right? Now, what if I want to just get deeper? I don't want the total sales. I want to just get, but this is the total sales, right? But if I bring this total sales to like a card visual now, for example, it's showing me my entire total sales, but I don't want to see the total sales. My manager is asking me for only, he doesn't care about all these people. He's asking me for the total sales for Western region. How do I do that? That is where our calculate function comes into place. And how do we calculate that? How do we write it? Remember, when you want to write a measure, what do? You select new measure. Okay, you select new measure, and then what do? We're going to call this one total sales, and we'll say for West. So total sales West, let's call it that. And now you're going to call what? Your calculate function. Now, what does calculate do? Calculate evaluates an expression in a context modified by filters. It takes in an expression and several filters. So the first thing that you have to put in your calculate function is an expression. And in our own case, the expression that we want to modify is our total sales. Remember, we want to modify our total sales for what? Where the total sales is just what's the word? It's just west. So what am I going to write here? I'll write total sales on this place. Okay, so it says calculate total sales. That is my expression. Now the reason why I can call total sales here is because I've calculated total sales. If I had not calculated it, I would have said sum of sales, right? So the next thing we want to do, since we've written our expression, is to do comma. And it has, you see, it has come to the next this thing. Now one of the I'm introducing you to another function. Now another function that you use to actually do this is the filter function. Let me show you something first before we go to the filter function. If I close this bracket where I do calculate total sales and I put enter and I just bring it on a visual, you see it's giving me the same value, right? The total sales. But that's not what I want to see. I want to see total sales for West. So what I will do is, after writing my expression, I will put a comma. Now this is the filter is highlighted, so I have to call a filter function. So what I'm going to say is I can either call a filter function, or I can call a filter to say where my orders where my region, which is in my location table. So if I type region, so if I say location region equals to, and I'm going to put west. So if you are writing text, or what we call string, text is also known as string. What do I mean? ABC, right? If you're writing it, you have to put it in what? A quotation mark like this, a double quote like this, right? You have to put it like that. And then if I click on enter, automatically, what is it giving me? 725.46. What is this? 725.46. So if I put this now, yeah, it ignores whatever context here, and it's only going to be showing me the total sales for West. Please, do we understand what I've just done here? Or do you want me to just take it one more time? Do you understand what I've done here? Or I can take it one more time. Please, if you can barely see my screen, just increase the resolution of the streaming. That is the only way you'll be able to see the screen, okay? You can also zoom. Thank you. Yes, you can also zoom it from your end. You'll be able to see clearly. Do we understand, or do you want me to go over this just one more time before we move to the next function? We've not done filter function, so we are just still on calculate. We are still on calculate. My presentation is not blur. Please just go you change the resolution. Go check settings on the YouTube and just increase the resolution. Thank you. So let's do it one more time. Okay, I'll just clear this and we'll start the process again. Now let me delete this. I want to show you, I want us to just go over it one more time, but my key takeaway, what I want you people to understand it. That's the most important thing. So good. Now you are working in an organization, okay, and your manager is telling you, I want to see my total sales, but for where for only people sales in western region, in the west, right? Now what do? You create a measure, and I say you have your total sales here, you have west, but they don't care about all these other people, they only care about west. And to do that, you have to use the calculate function. So what do? You go to your new measure as usual, right? New measure. And then start writing any measure, what do you have to do? You have to give your measure a name. And we've decided to call this measure total sales west. And what are we doing for this? We want to calculate the total sales where our region is west, right? So we're going to start with our calculate function. Now, calculate does what? It evaluates, like I said, remember this, calculate, this is also a very popular interview question. What is the importance of calculate? It's able, right? It's what it does is it changes the filter context. Remember I said your measures operate based on what? Filter context. And the only function that is able to modify this filter context is the calculate function. So what are we going to do? What does your calculate function take? Excuse me. It takes an expression And in our own case, our expression is the total sales, because what are we trying to modify? We want to modify our total sales. So we'll take total sales, and then I will put my comma. What am I trying to filter for? I want to filter for where my region is west, right? And once I start typing region, remember your DAX references what? Table name and column name. Is this my table name or not? It is. Is this my column name or not? It is. So what I'm going to do is I will select this table name, and this my column, and I will put equals to. So what I'm just saying here is where my region equals to west. And I said when you are writing any string or text, this thing, you have to put it in double quotes, which is what I'm doing here. And then we'll close that bracket and click enter. And automatically it will give us the total sales for where it is west. Is this clear now? Are we following? I hope this is clear now. Good. I would continue by looking at another we'll look at another function now, which is the filter function. Okay, filter function can also, what we've just done here, we can also use the filter context to do it. But now let's imagine a scenario where you want to see you have your sales table, right? You have the sales that you have made, but you want to see maybe only where you have made only sales that you have that probably, let's even look at the distribution of our data, so I'll be able to, because I'm thinking of a number off my head, so I'm not even, it's not this thing. Let's see, I want to see the range of numbers I have here, so I will know what I'm picking, so it'll be easy to track. Okay, good. So I can use from 15. Let's do that. So I can say, let's say now your manager is now telling you that I want to see all the sales we've made that are above $15. You want to see all the sales you have made that are above $15, right? Now, what do? You can use a filter context to do this. Let me show you how. Now, what same thing, right? You want to create a new measure. So we'll go to, make sure you're on your measures table, click on new measure. By the way, let me even show you something in case maybe you created a measure and it goes to this table. For example, I stay on my customer dimension table and I do new measure, right? I want the measure is here, right? And I want to create the new measure that I want to create, which is total sales above $15, right? That is what we want to, that's what they said we should calculate. So we'll call our calculate function again. So we're saying calculate, what do we want to modify? Still our total sales. So we'll say calculate our total sales, comma. Now I'll call my filter function. But filter, this is what it's saying in plain English, but filter, and once you type filter, what happens is, what does the filter function do? It returns a table that has been filtered. So we're not, what does it take? It takes a table and a filter expression. And the table we want to filter from is where? From my sales table. So I'm going to say filter from my sales, which is this. I hope we are following. Let me start again. We are saying calculate total sales, but this time around, I'm calling my filter function and I'm saying filter from my sales table, comma, okay, where my sales, which is this, so my sales column, right? Where my sales column is greater than, maybe we want to do from 15, above 15, right? Greater than 15. And I will close this bracket and I will click on enter. Now, if I come here and I put, let me see, I'm trying to move all this that I've created here. I mean, I can delete it anyways. Okay, so this is the one we created, right? I want to be sure that that is what is in that column. Okay, so I'm trying to understand why it is actually this. Did I do $15? Can everyone hear me? Can it's like I'm no longer audible. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So I know what is going on now. So apparently it's showing me the sum of all the old sales that is above $15. That is what is going on here. But that is how to use the filter function when you are actually trying to write tags, right? It's going to show you all the total sales only from orders above $15. Let's move to the next function. But before that, you can see that these DAX that I wrote in this place, right? Please let me know if I'm audible now. I don't know. People are saying they cannot hear me. Can everybody hear me now? Can please let me know if I'm audible. Excuse me. So yes, based on the so somebody said based on the example given, is it correct to say we use calculate in conjunction with filter function when the column to be filtered contains numerical data? That's not like you can use it. Okay, let's now the same thing I did for this total sales waste, right? Let's do for let's use the filter function to do it. Okay, so I'm going to use the filter function to do this. So I'll come here and do new measure so that you just see how that works. I just wanted to show you a way to apply the filter function. And I will do filter. So now what happens here after calculate is what? What are we going to do? We are going to filter, right? Call our filter function. And I'm saying filter from the location table. Filter from location dimension table where location dimension region equals to west. As simple as that. Now, if I bring this new one that I've created, I think it's this. you can see this is what has happened. Now it's giving you what the filter location, right? I'm showing you what it's been able to apply that filter and ignore even all other region. So the reason why we're not putting 15 in double quotes is because 15 is not a string. 15 is not a string. Excuse me. Okay, let's continue. Now, in case you write a measure and it gets applied in another table, do you know what happens? What happens is, like, you can move this measure to the other table. How do you do that? Now, once you select that measure, you can see your measure tools become active here. What you can do is come to this place that says home table and change it from customer dimension to your measures table, and automatically you can see that that total sales above this thing have moved to my measures table. That is how to actually do that. Okay, let's continue. So we'll look at another filter function which you would likely come across in your day-to-day, called the all. And what all the all function does is it removes all filters, like it ignores all filters that have been applied on that particular data, like whatever filter that you have applied. And I'll show you what happens. So say for example, so I'm just going to remove one of these. Okay, let's leave this one. And I go to my new measure again, and we do calculate. Remember, we have to give your measure a name. So what am I calling this one? I'm going to still use, let me call this total sales, all regions. So I'm going to call my calculate function again, because that's what is, and my expression as usual is my sales. That's what we're trying to modify. This time, what I want to do is I want to ignore any filter that you apply and just give me everything. I'm using the all function. Now, what the all does, it returns all the rows in a table or all the values in a column, ignoring any filters that might have been applied, right? So now if I do all and I say all my regions, that is, it takes a table name or a column name. So all my regions, and I click on enter. Now, if I put this on this place, it's going to give me all the value for all the regions. You can see what's giving me, the total. So it's giving me the sum of all the regions. That is what it, so it's ignoring the filter, because when I put this data on this table, let me explain something. When I put this data on this table, I'm saying filter, like the results that is supposed to give me a filter for where this thing is central, right? Filter for where is this is east. Filter total, give me the total sales for south, give me the total sales for west. That is what it's doing. But now uh the all function ignores all of that filter and just give me, because of that all that I've put, is giving me all region. Now there's also another function that would only keep the selected filters in the visual. But before I proceed, please, are we following? Are we following? I hope we are following and we understand. Please, if you understand, just let me know in the comments. The next thing we're going to use is the all selected. Okay, we're going to do all selected this time around, and we'll do new measure. What does all selected mean? All selected will keep only, you might not see the need for all these things. So I'm just showing you some of the popular this. You might not see it, but there will be a scenario where you want to do something, right? And you just remember, like, oh, there's this function, or when you, so that when you come across it again, or there's something in your head that you want to do, and you're asking ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tells you that, oh, the function that you use to solve this is all selected. You know that you have heard of it before, right? So I want to do total sales, all selected region. So same thing, still my calculate, and my expression is still also total sales. My expression is still also total sales. Please, if you don't understand anything, please ask question. Ask question. And when you're asking question, tell me what you don't understand. Then what we are using, the function we are using this time around is all selected. All selected, right? And then we're saying all selected what? Regions, which is this table, this column here. By now you should already understand like some of this logic, or what exactly we're trying to do. And if I bring this and I put this over here, you can bring in the other one. Okay, good. If I put this over here now, it's showing me everything, right? Now, if I bring a slicer and I put in my region, and I select East, it's going to show me only the value for East. You can see, but you can see the all. What does all do? It still give me all regions. It has ignored this filter that I've applied on this visual, right? But if I now let me add central, it's going to give me, okay, I want to make sure, I want to multi-select. It's summing up, you can see all selected, it's summing up central and east and giving me the result. So whatever I select here, that is what is going to give me. Am I making any sense? Please, are we together? Please let me know if we are together and I've not this thing. Okay, let's continue. So we have looked at all selected, we have looked at all, we have looked at filter, we have looked at calculate. One last filter function before we move to logical function. And from logical function we'll start talking about we'll start looking at calculated columns. Remember, it's measures that we've looked at tables, right? And tables are just calculated tables are tables that you write with DAX function. That's when we're creating our date table yesterday. So we're going to look at one last function, which is a filter function, which is selected value, right? Selected value returns like a single value that has been selected in a filter. For example, as I selected West here, it will just show me that I've selected West. Let's write the function so you see how it works. So when I say new measure again, I can call this one selected region equals to what? I'm just going to use selected value, which is this. And if you click on selected value says it returns the value when there's only one value in the specified column. Otherwise, returns alternate results. Okay, so so for example, excuse me, for example, if I specify that I want region to be returned, and I'm saying, and I can put a comma, or okay, no, let's close this bracket and see what happens first. So I'll close, and then let me bring it to a card visual. See, this thing is straightforward, right? It's straightforward in the sense that once I start typing, Power BI will tell me what it means, what I need to put there, and that's what we've just done here. And now selected value is showing me what's blank because I've not selected any region. But if I select central now, it's showing me central. If I select east, it's showing me east. If I select south now, it's showing me south. That is how your selected region or the selected value works. Now, what if I don't want it to be showing blank, right? If there's nothing selected, what do I want it to do? I can come here, put a comma, and I would say return maybe no region selected. Because I'm writing a string, what do I have to do? Put it in quotation mark, and I'll click on enter. And you can see what's happening here, right? It's saying no region selected because I've put that alternate, but once I select central, it's showing me central. Are we on the same page, ladies and gentlemen? Some of you just come to class and the first thing that you will just ask is, what's the key code for today? It's sad though. Are we together? Are we together? I want to be sure that we're together. Please, I'm collating the functions. I'll send it before, like, you get it. Please, pardon me. I'm just a girl. Okay, let me take do we understand selected value, or we should take it again? Okay, let's come again with selected value. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do now for the selected value is this. I'm going to just delete that and I'll explain again. Selected value. What does selected value do? Selected value will return a single value that you have selected when a filter is applied. So a single value, for example, I have maybe list of products name, for example, and I want to return every of those products name, such that, like, when I click on a particular product, it will show on my visual that I've selected Biscuito, or I've selected Biro, things like writing measures, right? New measure. That is what you do. And then we'll call it selected, because we want to do this time around, what we're doing is selected region, right? So selected region. And we're using what? Our selected value function. So selected value, what does selected value do? It would go ahead and do what? Um, pick a particular pick a particular column name, right? You can see the description of what it does, save. So it takes in what? A column name. And what column name do we want to feed in? Do we want to return? Our region, which is this, right? So if I just select region, I can go ahead and close the bracket and click enter. And if you select a card visual and you put that selected region on it, what is it showing you? Blank. Why is it showing me blank? Because I've not selected any region. So if I come here and click on central now, it's going to show me central. If I click on east, it's going to show me east. If I'm not selecting anything, it shows me blank. What if I don't want it to be showing me this blank if I'm not selecting anything? Instead, it should tell me that I've not selected any region. I can go ahead and modify this DAX. So I'll remove the close bracket. I'll just put a comma. Okay. And I will do what? Write no region selected. And I'll close this. And automatically it's going to be showing me no region selected if I don't have any region selected. I hope we are all on the same page and we can go ahead. So somebody is asking me, what if all two regions are selected? Now, because what we are doing is selected value, if you select two region, it's going to show that this thing, because we are saying one when a location is selected or when a region is selected, not when two regions excuse me, when two regions are selected. Okay, please, let's this thing. Okay, let's continue. I would assume that everybody has the like everybody understands what we are doing. So we're going to look at two very popular functions when you are dealing with like when, okay, we have talked about filter functions, right? Let's move to logical functions. Sorry, I was a bit distracted for a second. Let's move to logical functions now. And there are several logical functions, but I'm just going to touch on two of the most popular, right? I'll just touch on two of the most popular one. I would let you, like I said, I would draft out a cheat sheet, but we'll look at the two of the most popular, and that will take me to where I want to do, it will take me to our calculated columns. So by now, I would assume that everybody can write basic measures. Let's look at calculated columns. So what did I say calculated columns are? Calculated columns are you they are new columns that are added in your data by writing DAX, right? Like new information. You maybe you forgot to or you need an extra information in your data that is not there. You create a calculated column to add that information. And I gave an instance yesterday of like your um maybe when you don't have profit and you have selling price and cost price, right? You can do that. So we're going to use two different functions, learn how to use two different logical functions in here, and we're going to be using those functions, or you will be using those functions a lot when you start when you become a data analyst or as a data analyst. So one of those functions is the if function. Remember, we've talked about aggregation function, so I assume you people know aggregation function now. Or you know what, we've looked at what other functions have we looked at? We've looked at what's the word, um what did we just finish? Filter function. Now we're looking at logical function. So if function, what the if function does is it returns different results based on a condition. It returns different results based on a condition. So, and to do now, let me give you we're going to be practical here, very practical here. So imagine a scenario: you are in your organization, you are in your an organization, right? And they want, like for example, you have this quantity of products that people have bought, but you want to do a write or add a new column that categorizes this quantity of products that people have bought into small, large, and bulk, right? Like, oh, maybe you want to group this quantity of products so you can see the customers that are buying small quantity, the customers that are buying large quantity, and the customers that are buying in bulk, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to add an additional column, and for creating new column, you have to be on the table where you are trying to add a new column, and in this case on this sales table, right? So this sales table, I'm on sales table already. So I'll just come here and do new column. I can either come here, do new column, or go to my sales table, right click, and do new column. Anyone. Like I said, there's always plenty ways to kill a bird in Power BI. So do new column. Automatically is going to start adding that new column you want to add. And remember, when you're writing DAX in Power BI, what do I say? You always have to give it what? A title. So we're going to give this this thing a title, and I'll call this quantity. Let's call it quantity category. Okay, and I will do equals to. Now what do I want to do in this? Please excuse me, I'm sorry guys, I have a bad cough, so in between I might be coughing, please pardon me. So to do this quantity category, what we're going to do is or to calculate quantity category, we are going to use our if function. Okay, we're going to be using our if function. So what are we going to do? We'll call the if function, and once I type if, does it tell us? It says if function checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if true and another value if false. What does this mean? You are going to feed it what? Your logical test. Your logical test is something like is what you want to do. Like for example, I'm saying if my quantity is less than 5, return small. If it is greater than if it is greater than 5 or equals to 5, return large. Or if it is greater than 5 or less than 5 and less than or equals to 10, right? Return large. And if my quantity is anything greater than 10, return bulk. I'll take that again. Logical test is what you want to test for. And in my case, what I want to test for is what? I'm saying that if my quantity is less than 5, Power BI should give me small as a value. So I'm saying if this thing is 3, return small here. Okay, and I'm saying that if it is greater than or equals to 5 or less than or equals to 10, I want it to give me what? Large. So if I see anything like 5, 6, 7, 8, what should be here? Large. And then I'm saying if it is anything greater than 10, just return bulk for me. I hope we are following. I hope you understand what I've just explained. Now let's write it out so that we understand. So what am I saying? Would see that's when you understand the logic behind that, it becomes easier to write. So logic is even very important more than the syntax. Because once you understand logic, that's even what you'll be able to even use and explain to any AI or LLMs or Google or whatever when you want to explain you're looking for answer, or you're looking for something to help you, right? So understand the logic first. And the logic in our own case, we are saying what if our quantity, right? That's what it's called. So if our quantity, and where is quantity in the sales column? This is it, sales quantity, right? So our quantity is what? Less than, right? This is the sign for less than 5, comma. What are we saying? We are saying it should return what? Small. So, and because small is a string, I will call my quotation mark again and I will say what? Small. Am I correct? I'll put a comma, right? Because you see what we're testing. Let me even show you what's going on. I'm going to cut this. Let me start writing that again so that you see something. I want to write this function so that I would explain. I want to explain something quickly to you so that you can see everything we're working in action. So logical test, right? So that's what we're going to write first. So I'm saying sales quantity less than 5, right? If I put a comma now, what is it telling me to write? Result if true. So what result do I want it to return for me if it is true? That's what it's asking me to write. So, and the result I want it to return for me is what? Small. Now if I put comma again, it's asking me result if false, but I don't want to put a result if I still want to tell it another logic, give it another logical test. So what I'm going to do is I'll add another logical test, but because I don't want to write it on this line so that it's not cramped up and so you guys can see what I'm writing, I'll do shift and enter to go to the next line, and I'll just move my tab. Using my tab button, I'll move my cursor to stay here. Okay, so I just did shift and enter to move to the second line. Okay, now what I'm doing is this. I'm going to say sales quantity. Okay, this is second logical test. My second logical test is what? If sales quantity is what? Greater than or equals to 5 and less than or equals to 10. Are we on the same page? Or less than 10, rather, not less than or equals to 10. So we can do from greater from 10 upward when we're doing else, or less than or equals to 10, anyone. So we're saying if sales quantity is greater than or equals to 5. So I'm going to write greater than and equals to. This is how we say signify greater than or equals to in Power BI. So you put your greater than sign and equals to. So I'm saying if sales quantity is greater than or equals to what? 5. Okay. Now to say and here, we're going to be using the double ampersand, which is this sign here. And you have to write it 2 times. If not, Power BI is not going to recognize it. So write it 2 times. And then you're going to say sales quantity. You call your sales quantity again. Is what? Less than. So we're doing less than 10. Let me explain so you are not lost. Remember, our first thing is what? If sales quantity is less than or equals to 5, return small. Now we are saying sales quantity. Okay, I have to call my if again. That's a mistake. I just started writing this in. I was supposed to call my if. So I'll put my if here. Don't be confused, please. I was supposed to put if before I write this. Okay, so we're saying if sales quantity is less than 5, return small. And I'm saying again, if sales quantity is less than or equals to 5 and sales quantity is less than 10, what do I want it to return this time? I want it to return what? Large. Now I'll put comma again. Now it's telling me that what result do I want to return it for? So I can either write that last thing, right, to say, oh, if it is this, return bulk, or I can say just return, if it is not any of those 2 things that I've listed on top, just return bulk for me, which is result. So I'm saying that if this one is not true, if the one above is not true, just return bulk. I don't know if I'm making sense or if you understand what I'm saying here. I'm saying that if this one that I said, if it's less than 5, small, is not true. If this one I said, yeah, is not true, that means it's false, right? Return bulk. and then I will click on enter. And automatically you can see what's going on here. If you click on this drop down, you see it has created small, large, bulk. And if you check your data very well, you will notice that where it is, let's even try to just, do sort descending. So you will see what I will have done here. So you can see where it's 14 is showing bulk. So I'll just do my clear sort. So I have my data as it is. Please, do we understand what I've just done here? Do we understand what I've just done here? Do we understand what I've just done here? Now, there is a better way to do this, which is where the switch function comes in. The switch functions allows you to reduce the number of if. Because imagine I want to write so many tests for so many logic, meaning I'll be writing if again. I'm going to leave this and let's create a new column again. Let's call this one, let me say quantity, still quantity category, but I'll just shorten it. And then I'll call my switch function. What does the switch do? Let me type switch so that you see your Power BI own explanation. But just see your switch as your multiple if statements, but simplified. So it returns different results as well, depending on the value of your expression. So you have to feed it an expression first. In this case, excuse me. In this case, the expression that you want to feed it is true. So if I move to my next line, so I'll tell you why I'm feeding it the true expression. Now, what would this true do? I'm telling Power BI that anything I write and give you, test whether that thing is true and return the result I'm saying you should return. So still our same what we did before, right? This same thing. So what do we want to tell it first? Let's say quantity. Oh, I didn't put the comma. So we have to put your comma. Be very careful of punctuation. If you start writing rubbish or you start cooking beans in Power BI, that red will come up. See, for example, if I don't put this comma now and I just start writing, hold on, and I just start writing, you can see the red line underneath it is already showing me that, auntie, you're writing rubbish. So I want to move to the next line, so it's clear enough. And then I can call what? My quantity category, or quantity rather, less than 5, comma, what do I want it to return? Small, comma, go to the next line. Then I'm going to say quantity greater than or equals to 5 and quantity less than 10, comma, what do I want it to return? Large. And then the last one is bulk. Right? Because that's the last thing, right? You can either keep writing and writing anything you want to write, but if there's nothing, you put your results, else, bulk, and I'll click on enter. And it's going to give me the same result as this. So it's going to give me the same result as this. I hope we are all clear and we are all good on this. So right now, before we move to the next thing, we're going to take we're going to go on a 5 minutes break, and then when we come back, we'll start looking at the next set of functions. I'm not going to I want to move to time intelligence functions now. Okay, so when we come back for break, we'll start our time intelligence function. That's like the last set of functions that we're going to be looking at. Okay, we'll do time intelligence, and then we're going to look at iterator functions as well. We're going to look at iterator functions, and then we'll move into our final case study. So let's meet by okay, let's take by 3:07. Everyone should be back 3:07. But by the way, I want to see your favorites. If or switch, which one do you prefer? Okay, I think everybody should be back by now. Are we back? Kindly give me 2 minutes. By 15:10, we'll continue. I think continue. All right, let's go to the eye on the case, and it's very, very, I want to make very important, the really, really interesting thing on us to to make sure. Uh, Sorry, guys. Sorry for that break in transmission. We'll continue now. Please just confirm you can hear and you can see my screen. Okay, cool. I think we can begin. Everyone can hear me and they can see my screen clearly. So sorry about that. Like I was saying, or just to recap what I was saying before I dropped off, we're going to be looking at time intelligence calculation, and I was saying that it is actually very, very important in your analysis. Yeah, and we're going to start with just um some basic time intelligence functions before we move into some of these time intelligence calculation. And I'll be walking you through some of these functions. I will just look at it. For example, now you want to find maybe the first order date, right? I already taught you how to use one way to get that, which is the minimum of your order dates. But there's another way to do that using a time intelligence function. So I'm just going to create excuse me. I'm going to create a new measure. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. I want to be sure that you can hear me clearly. Okay, I think so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on what? So I'm going to type first date. So I want to see the first date of my order, right? Or let's say first order dates. Let me call it first order dates. We can use the first date function, right? What does the first date function do? It returns the first date in a given context, right? So it will return the first non-blank date, which means, and what does it take? A dates column. So if I put in my order dates here, which is this, and I close this bracket, and I bring this on a card visual, what is it showing me? The first date in my data. If you go and check from your this thing, you realize that this is actually the first date. And we can do the same thing for last date, right? To do that, the same process, you just do new measure. So if I say last order date, so if they're asking you now, go and bring the last order date in our data, you can just go ahead and write this function to say last date order dates, right? Because it takes in what? A column name. I hope this is clear. Very self-explanatory. And if you put that on a card visual, you will easily see it. You would easily see it. Now let's go on to the next one, which is previous month. Now this we are beginning to get into it. Now previous month returns a just look at, let me give you a real world scenario. You want to see your last month's sale, for example, right? This is what previous month would help you see. So if you want to see your last month's sale, you would use previous month. So what you are going to do is you write a new measure, and let's call this one previous month sales. What does the previous month sales do? It uses the previous month function. So now, because we want to see for our previous months, this is where you see calculate. As I say, it's a very powerful function. So we're going to calculate, use our calculate function again. We're going to call our calculate function. Calculate. What do we want to calculate? Our total sales, which we have here, right? But now this total sales that we're trying to calculate, we want to calculate for previous months. So previous month is the filter context we're adding here. So previous month, you call your previous month function, and then what will previous month take? It will take your dates column. So I can call my calendar dates now, and I'll click on enter. This is why you need your dates table, because it's this calendar dates that we'll be using for everything we want to do. Please, are we following? Are we following? Are we following? Please just let me know that you are following. So we'll click on enter. So this way, and I will show you quickly. So let me just delete this. Let's bring in, I'm just going to use this table I created here. So it's easy for me because of the formatting. I'll put this here, and I'm going to delete this, and this. So now I can do previous months. No, I don't want this. I want to go ahead. Instead of region, I want to go to my calendar table. I'm just trying to visualize so we'll be able to see that what we are doing is working, so you understand. I'm going to use a matrix instead, and I'll pick year and month. No, month name. Good. I just want to try and increase the font for this so that you guys can see my screen clearly. So I'm using a matrix visual actually to put this. By the way, matrix and table visual, they are excuse me, they are very similar. They just with your matrix visual, you can just see a like low level information of whatever you are trying to see. So now there's something I want you guys to pay attention to here. Let me enlarge it a bit. If you notice, our months is not sorted in proper order, right? It feels like it's sorted alphabetically. Even if I come to these more options and I do sort by, and I do sort by name, month name, still is not sorted, right? So what you want to do, and if I come here and I say sort by, and I month name, it's not sorting. If I say sort ascending, it's sorting this ascending, not, it's not sorting it it's sorting it alphabetically, not in the chronological order, right? So I want to do that. Make sure that it's January, February, this in. Let me tell you what you need to do. Come to your table view. Okay, on your table view, go to your calendar table, which is this. Are we following? So on your table view, go to your calendar table. Okay, go to your calendar table, and then what you want to select is your month name. Now you see this month name, select the column. On top of it, you will see column tools. Okay, under these column tools, you are going to see sort by column. You want to click on this sort by column, and then what you are going to select is sort by month number, which is this month. This is this month. So want to sort. What we are saying is we are telling Power BI that anywhere you see January is 1, February is 2. So that's what this sort by is doing. So sort by month number. So this is going to be sorted according to how this is sorted. I'll do the same thing for this month name shorts too, and I will do sort by months. Okay, now if I come here to my visual back, you see it has sorted automatically. It's now showing from January to December, and not that scattered format. Okay, so now we'll move to the next thing. We calculated previous months, right? So let's put that previous month and let's see what we are getting. Good. Now I'm going to just put the dollar sign so that we know that we're talking about money. Now if you look on here, oops, I don't want this showing. Let me even see the total sales. Let me change this to 2. Good. Now, if you look at on here, for February 2014, in January 2014, what did we make? $14,000. In February, we made 4.5. Now, look at the previous month's value. Look at the previous month's sales. What is it showing you? January sales, right? In March, we made this. Our previous month was what? 4.5. Like, look at it, right? So we've been able to calculate the previous month. Okay, now with this calculation that we have done here, we can do what we call a month over month comparison, which people call which you used to see, like, growth trend. Okay, which you used to see growth trend. So we're doing like you can go ahead and calculate, do a month over month. And what do we do mean by month over month? We are saying that we want to find the percentage growth. We are saying this month, right, minus last month. I'm sorry, last month minus this month. What am I saying? This month minus last month divided by last month. So we're saying our total sales, which is this current month here, minus the last month divided by last month. That is what will give you your this thing. So let's even try to write that out. So if I say new measure, my divide function will come here. So I can call this month over month growth. And then what do I want to do? I'm going to calculate. What do I want to calculate? This month minus. So I'm saying total sales minus previous sales, right? So I'll call my divide function first because we're going to be dividing. So divide comes into play here. Divide. What is going to be my numerator? I'll put another bracket so that I can group it there. My numerator is what? This month, which is total sales. This total sales here. Minus what? My previous month sales. Right? Comma. So I'll close this bracket. That's what I'm dividing. Then what am I dividing it by? I'm dividing it by the previous month sales. And I will close that bracket. Let me explain this thing in simple mathematics for those that don't know what I've just done here, what we are doing, that for those that might be confused. Now, in January, or what month are we in? We are in August, right? So let's say last month was July. In July, I don't know if this is visible enough. I don't think I can expand this one. Let me use Excel. Don't save. Good. So I'm saying let me expand this. I hope this will be visible enough. Oh God, I don't know what the problem is. Okay, good. I'm saying in July, I made 4 naira, right? This August, I've made 8 naira. Now, what am I saying? I want to calculate the growth, percentage growth I've made. What am I going to do? I will do August sales, which is 8, minus last month's sales, July sales, which is 4, right? And I will get what? 4 divided by what? Last month's sales. And I will multiply that by 100. And what would that give me? I don't know why this is like this. What that would give me, if I do 8 minus 4 by 4, that will give me what? It will give me 8 minus 4 divided by 4, it will give me 1 times 100%. That is what? 100% growth. That is simply the calculation that I've done here in Power BI. So I'm saying this month minus last month divided by last month, right? If I bring that to this place now, I can put a percentage. I can put a percentage here, and I will see the percentage growth. I like this question. What if our sales ended in April, but we are now in August? What month's value will it be showing? That is why you see those people that say, why do we need DAX? Because of this thing. That is why all these reasons why you need DAX. And that is why you need a calendar table. Because in your calendar table, your calendar can detect that your sales ended in April. And it's picking, because look at what we are using. Let me go back to my previous month. What is my previous month? What date is it picking? My calendar date. And how is my calendar date calculated? This is calculated based on the dates in my data. Do we understand what I'm saying? I hope everybody is following. Like we are following. Please excuse me. Good. So now that we have done, we have looked at how to do previous months. Okay, we're going to look at another example. This thing is the same thing. You can do previous quarter as well. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all those things. It's the same way. You can also do previous year. The same thing. Instead of previous month, what you are going to write is previous quarter. If you look at it, you will see all those things. So you can, play around with it on your own. But let's look at another very popular thing: parallel period. Now, you see this your previous month. What is it doing? It's going based on previous months. It's not going previous 2 months or previous 3 months. What if I want to go back 2-3 months? I want to compare 3 months against now. What if I want to do that? That is where parallel period can help you. What parallel period do is it shifts time based on a given number of intervals. Let's look at it in action. So I'll do new measure. And then let's say we want to check our previous months, like 3 months sales or 3 years sales. I can go ahead and say what? Let's call this, let me just say parallel period as the measure. Parallel period 3. Okay. If you want to make the month show under the button, just come to, on your matrix visual, okay? On your matrix visual, put your month name in rows. So year and month name should be in rows. So that way it would show that way, okay? In case you don't understand what I did in previous month, this is very simple. Like, it's a very simple mathematical calculation. If you work in an organization, or maybe you are this thing, let me not use if you work in an organization. How do I put? I'm trying to look for a scenario everybody can relate to. I'm trying to look for a scenario. Or okay, let me just use the sales example that we always use. I'm selling biscuits, or I have a business, right? This month I make 10,000. I make let me say 5,000, right? I make 5,000 naira this month, right? Last month I made 2,000, or let me say 2,500, so that is a number I can easily calculate. I made 2,500. Let's even use 2,000. It's not even this thing, or 3,000. Last month I made 3,000. Okay, last month last month you sold 3,000. This month you sold 5,000. How much more did you sell this month? You sold what? 2,000 more, right? You made 2,000 naira more, right? You made 2,000 naira more this month. Now you want to see the percentage increase that you made, and to get that percentage increase, you have to do that. You have to calculate the amount of money that you made increase divided by, right? Divided by that last month sales and last month's money that you made. In our case, it's going to be what? 2,000 divided by. So it's going to be 2,000 divided by 3,000. And if you do that calculation, you probably get something like around 60 something percent, right? So meaning you made what? So multiply by 100, you will give you like 60 something. Let me say maybe 65 or 66%. That's what you get if you do this calculation. You can do it on your own end. 66%, right? And you made 66% increase. I hope this is clear now and everybody understand. That is what that previous month is doing. So let's talk about parallel period now, so that we will understand. Now, let's talk about parallel period. I'm saying parallel period will do what? It will shift time by a given number of intervals. Oh my God, we are so slow. Jeez, I've not even finished that. Okay. Shifts time by a given number of intervals. So let's look at an example of it. So I want to calculate my total sales. I'm calculating total sales, comma, and then what am I doing? I'm doing my parallel. We're calling parallel period now. Parallel period. What does parallel period do? You see, it returns a parallel period of dates by the given set of dates and a specified interval. So meaning, what is it going to take first? Dates. And I'm giving it my calendar dates, right? That's the first thing it's taking. If I put comma, the number of intervals. So I want to go 3 months back. So if I do -3, I'll do, so if you want to go 2 months back, you say -2. If you want to go 1 month back, -1. If you want to go 5 months back, -5. So because I want to go 3 months back, I'll do -3 and I'll do my comma. It's going to ask me how many How many what interval? You want to go back by months, or by 3 quarters ago, or by 3 years ago? And in my case, I'm doing 3 months ago. So I'm doing months, and I'll click on enter. And if I bring this and place on this place, it's going to show me the money, the sales I made 3 months ago. So let me put the $sign again so we're not confused. I mean, I can take out this month over month growth. So let's focus on this. It can be there anyways, but let me see. I just want to make sure that you guys understand this thing. I mean, there's still a lot I want to talk about, but we cannot move forward if we don't understand what is it I'm saying here. Okay. Now, if you look here in April, let's go back 3 months. April, say 14,236. Now let's go back 3 months back, right? 1, 2, 3. What do we have here? 14,236. This one is saying 4519. Let's go back 3 months back. 1, 2, 3, 4519. So is it calculating the 3 months back? It's doing it. So that is how you can use to do 3 months interval, right? That is where you can do 3 months interval. Now there is also another one that you can use to do this same thing, which is what we call the date add. Excuse me, the date add formula. Okay, the date add formula, or function rather. Let's look at an example with date add. So if we come here, I can do new measure again. Please pardon me, I don't know if it looks like I'm rushing, but I hope we all understand what I'm saying and you guys can go back to the recording. So what does the date add do? The same thing. It will shift the date by a specified number of days, months, quarter, or years, right? And it would return the result. And it will return the result. So what are we going to do again? We're going to use the same thing, right? Our calculate formula. We're going to use our calculate formula to do whatever we want to do now. So I'm going to call this what? Let's call it date add 1. Excuse me, please. Calculate. And I'm going to say total sales, comma, right? And I'm saying what do I want to call my date add this time around? So date add, this is the date add function. Date add, I'm feeding in my calendar date again, right? We should understand up to here by now. When I put calculate, what I need to put is the expression. Then you put date add, you put your calendar date, then comma. Then I will now specify the number of interval. Let me just do -1 this time around. And then what am I going to specify? The number of interval I want to go by. And this time I'm doing months, right? And I will close this and I'll do okay. And if I also bring this on to this place, you would see it's the same thing with this one. Now, somebody will ask me, why do we have so many functions doing the same thing? That is because there's just a slight difference between some of them, right? For example, the difference between your date add and your parallel period and your previous month is the fact that for your date add, you can do custom shifts, right? Like for example, -2 months, 3 days, 4 days back, 5 days. Like you can do like those kind of this thing. That's for your date add. For your parallel period, it will compare the entire full month. What am I saying? Like for example, if today is 15, right? Your date add will just compare 15, but your parallel period will compare the full month against the full month, right? Full month, full year. Now, when we say previous month is also doing the same thing, the entire previous month, the entire full calendar month. Okay? I hope we're all following. Please let me just get some reactions in the comments that will show that we are following. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I see one question. It says, what are the major things that will cause my previous month DAX to return a blank card visual? I have a report I'm currently working on, and I'm trying to find out why my previous month is not working. So you probably want to check your dates column. So if your dates column is not continuous, for example, maybe you have like January, February, and not a date, a proper, like if you don't have your dates table properly marked as dates, and that is why you need a dates table, right? If you don't have that, there's every possibility that it might return blank. And also you want to check that there's data for that previous month as well. Those are some of the things that you might want to look at, and also look at your relationship. Like if you have, let me mention this, if your data model is not working, your data model is not correct, you end up with rubbish DAX. In fact, you will not be able to create good DAX. Just put that at the back of your mind, guys. All right, let's continue. I'm going to do maybe one or two, let's look at one or two more, right? I want to look at a function called YTD and MTD. Let's look at YTD. They are the same thing, but one is year, one is month. When we say YTD, we are saying year to date. When we say MTD, we are saying month to date. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm trying to look at the comments, but I don't think I'll be able to go through these questions. Please, let's just save our questions for during our Q&A session. Maybe we would even have a class during that Q&A session. But for now, let's save our questions, right? I want to quickly run through some of these. I want us to finish everything on DAX at least today. So even if we have one last class, we'll just be doing report design and publishing to service. Okay, I want to see how I can maximize the next 1 hour. Thank you, guys. So now we want to look at what YTD and how to do a YTD and MTD. Now, YTD actually shows you, it accumulates, like, say for example, you want to see the YTD of your sales. It will start from this beginning of the year to the last visible date in your reports or in your data. What do I mean? For example, this year is not complete and I have sales data that I've been collecting, right? And I want to calculate the total sales I've made this year. So if I'm using a YTD, what it's going to do is, instead of calculating all the days sales in my data from even last year, last 2 years, it will start from what? The beginning of this year to now. That is what YTD is. So to calculate or to write YTD, what you are going to do is, I will do new measure again, and let me just call this total YTD. So we are going to call the total YTD function total YTD, comma, I say comma, brackets, oops, so total YTD, look at it, right? Evaluate the specified expression over the interval which begins what? On the first day of the year and does what? And ends with the last date in the specified dates. And ends what? In the specified dates. So what we're going to do now is, I'm just going to go ahead and call excuse me. Okay. You guys should not worry about attendance. Elizabeth will share the attendance very soon. The key code for today's attendance is 19. The key code for today's attendance is 19. So don't forget that the key code is 19. I'll mention again later on, but let's continue. So total YTD is what? We're going to use our total sales that we already have here. So total sales, comma, what am I writing? My calendar dates. What does it take? Expression and the dates, right? And then I'll just close the brackets. So this will give me, like, okay, let me do this now. So you can see that what this is calculating, like the total sales in this particular year, the total sales in this particular year, total sales in this particular year. That is what your YTD does. If I put total sales on a column, this is what it gives, right? But if I put create another one and I do total YTD, because I've not selected any year, that is why it's showing blank. But if I select 2014, it's going to show me the year for 2014. If I select 2018, I don't have 2018 data, so it's showing blank. 2017, showing me data for 2017. So that is how your total YTD works. Same thing with your MTD. If you are doing total months to date, is the same thing that you would do. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that particular one. Let's talk about one last thing, which is similar to your parallel period and all those that we looked at before, which is same period last year. Right? Same period last year. Now, same period last year, what it does is it compares like a current period to a previous period last year. Like, for example, okay, it will compare this year August compared to last year August. And let me show you how to write that formula. So when you do new measure, okay, you can say what? In this new measure, what are you going to do? You can do, excuse me, I'll call this, let me call it same period last year. And I will say calculate my total sales, comma, and I will call my same period last year. That's the filter function, or that's the time intelligence function rather. And for my calendar dates, and I'll click on enter. And I'll click on enter. If I bring this here, you can see what is showing. I want to try to remove some of these so that we focus on seeing good. Now, if I bring this here, you can see in 2014, what did we make? 484. What is it showing me in 2015? This is last year figure. This one is that. So that is how to use what? Same period last year. I hope we are all clear, right? And we understand, even if you want to calculate growth now for year over year, what will you do? Your total sale minus previous year divided by previous year multiplied by 100. As simple as that, right? That is it. So quickly, I want to talk about one thing we call, or another set of functions that we call iterator functions. So it's called iterator functions. Quickly, I mean, there are other function groups that we did not touch, like your text function, but I believe that you can do most of those things in your Power Query. That is why we're not looking at those ones. Like I said, I want to touch some of the most popular ones that you will come across when you are using DAX. When you join the in the Power BI Project Club, we're going to be looking at some of these DAX formulas even as time goes on during our monthly sessions. So, but for now, these are some of the ones that you should know to be able to, even build any solid project. Let's go to the next one. So I'm saying we want to look at iterator function. Now, by now, I believe everybody should understand time intelligence function to an extent. So even if you don't understand it very well, you understand it to an extent. Now, let's look at iterator functions now. Okay. So we're going to start with one of the very popular ones that we know. Oh God, please just give me. Okay, now iterator functions are functions that work row by row over a table, right? So they will apply each calculation to the row and then aggregate the results and give you this thing. Most, like all iterator functions that I know, end with X. Your sum X, your average X, your rank X. Those are iterator functions. So just think of them as looping functions. So instead of they just summing up a column, they will do the calculation for each row before doing the sum or before doing the average, right? Let's look at an example here. Remember, know that if I do, for example, let's call this, what do we want to call this? Let me call this total, let me call it total sales 2, right? And if I do my sum, let's assume that I don't have the quantity and unit price, right? I want to do quantity times unit price here. If I say I type quantity and I start typing maybe multiplied, which is this star, and I type unit price, units, what's it called? I think it's quantity, right? Unit price. I'm trying to see what we call price. You can see nothing is coming up, and that is because it can only take one column name, right? Now, for me to be able to do this operation seamlessly, what I'm going to do is to call my iterator function, which is the sumx. Okay, which is the sumx. So what I'm going to do is, if I say quantity, sumx will take what does it do? It returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table. And the first thing it takes is a table. So I have to give it a table, and I'm talking about my sales table, right? Right? Quantity multiplied by, which is this star, unit price. Well, what is the this thing? Sales quantity profits. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to see if I have, okay, let's use this sales this thing, because I don't have like a cost price column on here, right? But since we're just using it for practice sake, let me just show you what that looks like. So I'll just do sales and I'll close this bracket. So this one now works. I can multiply. So if you want to do aggregation directly here without this, it will give you that particular calculation, right? Average, the same thing. You can do your average X and you do that particular thing. Now, let me even give you one very example here. Say, for example, I want to see the average profits per order. So I want to see for each order, how much profit are we making? Like, that was the average profits per order, right? If I use average, I will not be able to get that correctly. But now if I come here and I do new measure and I say average X, so let me title this on average X, is equals to average X, then I would put in another function. Now this function I want to put, I want to use this, and it's also an iterator function, and it's the value function. What does the value function do? Value function, when you put any column name in a value function, it will return the single column of the unique values in that particular table. That is what your value function. So it returns unique values. So in this case, the unique values I want to return is my order ID, right? And I'm saying, if any, like I'm trying to find the average profits per order. So for this order ID, right, comma, what do I want to do? Now I have to close this bracket first. Close, comma, what am I going to do? My total profits, because I'm trying to do what? Total profits per order. I don't know if I calculated total profits. Oh, good. Total profits, and then I'll close this bracket. This way, it would help me calculate the total amount, the total profits for each order, or the average profits per order. The average profits per order. Now, let's do one or last one. We're going to look at one last iterator function before we'll move to our case study. By the time we come back from break, we'll go after this one, we'll go on break. When we come back, we'll start looking at our case study. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want to look at rank X function. So that person that asked about top N, I think yesterday, this is what will be very helpful for you, right? Now, for example, you want to rank, what the rank X function does is it ranks your values based on a measure. For example, you can rank products based on sales, right? So, or rank customer based on total sales. So let's say, for example, I want to rank my total product based on like the total sales. What am I going to do? I want to be sure that we are following first, and I'm not this thing. Are we still together? I want to be sure that we're still together. Please just confirm that you guys are following. Please, if you don't understand, I'm sure you can watch the recording later. Okay, somebody is asking if the sum X and sum product is similar. Yes, it is similar, right? With the row by row transformation. Okay, good, we are following. Thank you, guys. If you are if my screen is not clear enough, just increase the resolution. Increase the resolution, you can zoom in. That's why it's not this thing. Excuse me. So now let's go ahead and look at rank S now, right? We want to rank our product based on our sales. So we'll do new measure. I'm going to call this measure, let me just say rank X or rank. So what am I doing in this rank? I'm going to say, I'll call my rank X function now. What does rank X do? It returns the rank of an expression evaluated in the current context, evaluated in the current context, right? In the list of values for the expressions evaluated for each row in the specified table. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll call my table name, and the table name that I want to do is what? My orders table, right? So I'll say rank everything in my orders table. So I'll use the all function, right? And I'll say order table. So where's my this is it. Or my, let me use my sales instead. What am I ranking? Okay, I'm ranking products rather, sorry. So I'm ranking my product. So I'm going to call my product name, right? All my products, comma. And then what am I doing? My total sale. That's what I'm ranking them by. Always make sure that you put the brackets when you're writing something like this, right? You're writing another function inside a function. Don't forget your brackets, because if you don't put the brackets, you will end up getting error, or what you want to type out next will not come out. So now what's the expression or I want to get? What am I looking for? So I want to do what? The sum of my total sales, right? So I'll just put my total sales, because I'm ranking my products based on my total sales. So I'll close these brackets. And then, comma, how do I want to rank it? Comma, how do I want to rank it? I want to rank it in descending order, right? And if you write this thing like this, it will not work. You have to put 2 commas. I don't know why, honestly. And most times, this is one mistake. Like even till tomorrow that I've been writing that, I always make this mistake. and then I'll just close this and I'll click on enter. And if I bring this to a table and I bring in my products, what did I put? Product ID, product name. Let me use product ID instead of product name. Good. Now, if you look at this, it has ranked what my sales into, like, I can now see like the number one product that is making the most sales, right? If you try to put your total sales here, if I put my total sales here, you would notice that this is the one with the highest. Okay, let me do copy and paste so you'll be able to see clearly, because I don't think it's visible enough. So I'll format the settings I had on that one so it's visible enough. Okay, good. I'm sure we can see my screen. So the rank X function that we created, this is what it's doing, right? It has created like a rank based on our total sales. That is what this rank formula does. That is what the rank formula does. Now, what if you want to see like just a top N that is like very top end that is dynamic? Now, top end can return like a subset of this. Like, what I mean by subset, it will return the top rows, right? Rank S assigns like number to it. So, for example, I want to see just the top 5 customer, right? I want to see the top. Let me say I want to see the or the top 5 products by sales. Now, I want to see the top 5 products by sales. How am I going to calculate that? Let's do that. So, new measure. And I'm going to call this, let's say let's do top 3 products. I can do top 3 or I can do top 5. Let me leave it as 5. Top 5 products. So I would say equals to, okay. Now I would say I will call my top. Now for this one, we use what we call the top N formula. What does the top N do? It returns a given number of top rows according to the specified expression, right? And the first thing it takes is your N value. How do you get your N value? Your N value would be like a selected value. So you have to create a parameter. No, I'm not going to do this in this class. It's going to be too distinct. When we do let's do it in our case study. I'll do it in our case study, because if I do this now, it's going to be too confusing. So I have something like that we want to, when we are building our dashboard, that we'll do. There's, like I've said a whole lot, and I want people to just use the next 5 minutes to breathe. Use the next 5 minutes to just breathe. And then when we come back, we'll look at our this thing. I know a lot of people have said the timing for this class is too long, but please just pardon me. That's why I said recording is there. If you're tired after 2 hours, by all means, feel free to leave, and then later you watch the recordings. The recordings is there, but there's nothing I can really do because I'm trying to cover it. Except everybody just wants me to, teach, just touch and drop, which is not why we're here, right? So we want to understand what Power BI exactly is. So like this, I've been able to touch iterator functions. We've looked at aggregator functions. We've looked at time intelligence functions, logical functions. In fact, you guys should just list out all the functions that we've talked about in the comment section. So let me even know that you were following. I'm sure like everybody's wondering that, what did I sign up for? God, I beg. But that's the That's what DAX will make you do. So we can go on a 5 minutes break. If you want to stand up, if you want to stretch your legs, please feel free. When we come back from that break, we'll just put it all together. And in fact, I'm going to use the same data, because what I want to do is I want you to see the difference between this and what we're going to create next. And so you tell me if you like how DAX has improved it, or if you want to stick to that basic. So by 16:10, I'm going to be here. I'm just going to take a little bit of water and we can continue. What are the functions I mentioned, though? Nobody's answering me. At least different categories of function. You don't know the categories of function again. Thank you. So I'm seeing comments, iterator, time intelligence, logical. I will not lie for you. Somebody's asking me how long did it take you to be as good as this? It took me, it took me 2 years, and in fact, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. And with every time I want to teach DAX, I won't lie to you guys, I struggle, because it's not about not knowing it. It's about being able to teach it, right? I know DAX, but whenever I want to teach people, I'm trying to always look for a way, because I know how difficult. No, maybe DAX is not difficult entirely. Like, I mean, it's learnable, but it's difficult to actually teach people, because it's not something you learn just by, oh, this is how it's done. It's something you learn by actually practicing it. So it took me a lot of practice. Don't worry. But in the community, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing weekly DAX exercises. We'll give you a DAX exercise for you to use and practice, something that will help you, that will make sure that you keep practicing those DAX skills. Okay, I'm seeing the functions now. Good, good. I have cool students. Please, you should take break. Oh. It's not that because I'm talking. You buy, yeah. Excuse me. Elizabeth, please drop the link to the Substack, so that those that are not able to that are not yet receiving mails from me, they can just they would get that, so that they can be receiving mails. So please just drop a link to the Substack on the this thing, because I see some people are saying they cannot still join the community. I don't know what we'll do about that Slack issue, honestly. I know, but please, if you cannot join the Slack, please just send a mail to powerbibootcamp@gmail.com. If you are here to join the Slack community, please send a mail to powerbibootcamp@gmail.com. Thank you. Quick pause check. How was Dax? How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling? Quick pause check. Oh, how do you think? Do you think so far, as the class been beginner friendly enough? I like to always ask this question, because it helps me, like when next I want to teach, what changes to make, and things like that. What do you guys just think so far about the class? About the, like, has it been power packed enough? Do you feel like there's something else that we've not touched, or we're missing out, or just drop anything at all in the comments section. I know, we're just trying to, let's do little icebreaker here. But I mean, I know we're still talking about Power BI, but let's just chill a bit before I enter inside this one. Dax is really daxing us. Indeed. Ah, don't worry, just watch the recording again. I'm sure you will understand. You understand some of these things. I don't think attendance has been dropped yet. Oh, by the way, I need to say a big shout out to everybody that signed up for the Power BI incubator program. Like, I don't know, maybe before the date I set as the this thing, maybe it's going to get filled up because, like I mentioned, I don't want to take more than 100 people because I really want to pay attention to everybody. And if I take more than that, it's just going to stretch and stretch and stretch. So that's the thing. But if you still want to sign up, registration is still ongoing. Elizabeth, you can drop a link to the Power BI incubator program for those that want to join this. Just to mention again, what that program is about is we're going to be, remember what I said, right? When we started this thing, what are the things that you need to know to be able to say you know Power BI? You need to know data preparation. Is it checked or not checked? Checked. You need to know data modeling. Checked or not checked? It's checked. You need to know what data visualization, and we started to look at that. Right, there's still a lot of things I want to cover there, which we are going to do when we're building this dashboard. You need to know what data analysis expression, which you have spent the past 2 hours dissecting. And the last one is business knowledge, and business knowledge is not something that one, like, I can just teach you at once, right? Business knowledge is the thing that you learn by building a lot, right? And on here we're going to build, still focusing on, like, just this sales domain. There's something called domain knowledge. As an analyst, you will do that. I'll tell you for a fact that myself as a data analyst, I've worked across several industries. So I don't have an health background, but I've worked on health data sets. I did not read engineering, but I've worked in the oil and gas sector. I've done something relating to, like, oil and gas data, right? Same thing with, sports and entertainment. Although I'm a sports person, and oh God, I love entertainment a lot. I'm a big reality TV show fan. So I've done something else. So you would work across diverse industries as a. Okay, I've not done anything. Well, I don't have insurance background, but I've done something relating to insurance. So I've worked on this thing relating to a project relating to insurance. I don't have banking background. I've worked in this thing. So these are domain knowledge, right? And you only know these things by, practice and practice. And that is what the Power BI incubator program is trying to, like, do, because we don't have all the bandwidth on here to go through these different industries. And what I've just done is to curate a special program where you can also, for some people that don't even know how to use SQL, where you can learn basic SQL and also build like a portfolio. So you're learning SQL and you're also building like a portfolio with different industry, right? Different industry. So what is also going to happen is, I think I've seen question. Yes, I'm going to drop all the video as a playlist. I created one. I've not been updating it. I'm going to drop all the video as a playlist. Remember, the videos on this thing is going to be like lifetime. So you would always, you always be there. You will continue seeing it, and like you will just be there. Anytime you want to come back to something, you can always go back to the recording. Yes, it's possible to create sliders that affect a specific visual, and we'll start seeing all those things when we are building our dashboard. Okay, I think that is that. So if you're interested in signing up for that this thing, please, Elizabeth, just drop the link to it. Okay, I think she has already done that. You see it there. You can just pay for it. Currently, there's a discount ongoing. I don't know how long that will last. The program is starting on the 13th of September. So on the 13th of September. All right, let's begin building a dashboard, and let me just say, putting it all together. Now, because of the fact that what I would have loved to do is, pick a new, different, fresh data set and we'll start over from scratch. But for the sake of time and some of these, I want to just, let's continue what we already have. And I would, next month during our July session, for the sake of like what has gone on, what we've done here, what I want to do is I'll build an end-to-end project. I think we're going to be having that like just very before the Power BI incubator program opens up. I would announce the dates for that session. But let's just look at this, which is the most important thing, or bringing everything that we have been doing together. And I'll bring this back again. I've talked about visualizations before, but I want to talk about it again because it's important. Now, the key code for today is, I already mentioned it, 19. The key code for today is 19. I mentioned that earlier on. All right. Dashboards are, think of dashboard as, let me give you a real life example. For those of you that drive and those of you that have cars, right? Or you've entered Uber or, any of these ride hailing platforms, you would see something in front of the driver's seat that shows like maybe when the fuel is low, trafficator light, some of those things, right, that you would have in front of the driver that looks like a it's also called a dashboard. Save. That is an example of a dashboard. What does this thing help the driver do? It shows where there's a problem or when there's something. They can easily see everything that's happening with the car at a glance. That is what your dashboard, simply put, that's what your dashboard is doing in the business. Your dashboard is their visualizations that are part of business intelligence process that would help key stakeholders and C-level executives understand their data and make business decisions. So think of it as the front end of everything that you have been doing, right? And it would help them. It would help you show trends, patterns, and relationships that cannot be seen in the raw format. And some of the benefits is what it would help improve communications and also what better decision making, right? And better decision making. There are several types of dashboard, and I'm just going to like walk you through. I'm going to walk you through some of these things that you are seeing here. Excuse me. So there are several kinds of dashboard, or this could appear in several ways, right? You have by form. I've just tried to split it in different ways here, right? By form and by function, right? And under by form, you would see static and interactive, right? Under by function, you see static and please, I want to be sure that we are together first of all before I continue. I want to be sure that we are together. Please, if we are together and we can continue and we are all on the same page, please just let me know. Okay, I would assume we are all together. Okay, good. Good, we are together. Now, let's talk about static dashboards, right? Now, static, once we hear the word static, there's already something that comes to mind, right? Something like maybe like you cannot even explore or you cannot filter or anything, right? It's non-interactive, let's put it that way. Now, so that is your static dashboard, and your static dashboard somewhat like it also intertwines with explanatory dashboard, like such that you are telling your user a particular story. You have told a particular story and you want your this and think of like a monthly PDF sales report that is sent to management, right? A static dashboard. Now, but your interactive dashboard is one in which, like, you are telling your user to go into that dashboard and come out with their own story. It is interactive. It allows you to drill down or slice your data, right? For example, let me give you a scenario now. In an organization, if I build an interactive dashboard now, I work in the sales department, somebody else works in the HR department. What I will be interested in that dashboard will be different from what that HR personnel will be interested in. So we'll both come out with different stories. Now, when we talk about by function, we're talking about the purpose that it serves, right? For example, I mentioned your explanatory dashboard is you are already giving a static, and most time is focused on um, um, a particular story, right? Just highlight a particular story. Let me give you an instance. For example, I support Chelsea Football Club. Imagine if I want to do an analysis of all the cups that Chelsea has won from inception till now, right? I can just put that there as a static dashboard. Now, when I begin to add filters such as year, managers, players, that dashboard becomes exploratory. Somebody can go there and filter to check how many cups Chelsea has won in 2021. How many cups Chelsea have won between 2020 and dates, right? This is exploratory dashboard. So it can help your user dig deep, find and also find patterns in it, right? So think of your form as how users interact with it, and the function as the purpose that it actually serves. Okay. Now let's look at things to keep in mind when creating a dashboard. Okay, let's look at things to look at when creating, it is to keep in mind when creating the dashboard. So we're going to look at things to keep in mind when creating a dashboard. Number one, what to present. Please, I beg you guys, pay attention. Everything we've been learning from day one will be useless if you don't understand these things I'm saying. And you know why? People will not see your back end. I repeat, people will not see your data cleaning. People will not see your data modeling. People will not see any of the um, um, analysis that you've done, any of the calculations you've written. What they will see is your visuals, and that is why it is important to understand what I'm talking about here. Number one, what to present. That's what you want to think of first. What to present. This is where you start understanding things like the business problem. That is number one thing you want to think about. What business problem are we trying to solve? As a data analyst, always think of yourself as a problem solver. You are trying to solve a problem for the organization. Whatever dashboard you are building, it should do one of three things. Number one, either it's trying to increase or generate revenue for the organization, it's trying to save costs, or it is trying to improve efficiency. Maybe I would even give you examples. For example, you want a particular sales store is thinking of ways to increase their revenue. They tell you to analyze their data. A particular organization is thinking of how to save costs. Like maybe there are things like a manufacturing company where they are getting a lot of defective materials. So they want to maybe remove vendors that are causing those defects. They want to save costs. Or a customer service that they want to improve, customer response time to customer. That is improving efficiency. These are business problems. So whenever you think of building a project, whenever you want to do your project, start thinking of things like this. It should solve a problem. Number one thing, understand the problem you are trying to solve. When you understand the problem you are trying to solve, who is this thing going to be for, right? You want to understand the problem, understand who your user is, your audience, things like that. The next thing you want to start researching. What data do I need to solve this problem? Where will I get the data from? You're doing this researching and you are planning. When you're planning, you are saying, okay, I will need this sort of calculations, or I'm going to use this tool to do it. Then you do what we call a mock-up. I'll teach you how to do that in Power BI, right? That is the what to present part. Now, how to present, you are thinking calculation. What calculation am I going to write? What visuals am I going to use? How am I going to format it? What color am I going to use? That is what you are thinking about. Let's move in depth to this thing. These are some of the dashboard requirements that I like to walk through when I'm building a dashboard. At your level, this might not be very, because I mean, you don't have like there's no stakeholder, you're just building projects and whatnot. But I'm speaking based on real world example. I hope we are following. I can see a lot of messages, but I don't know if we are following, but I really hope we are following. Number one thing you want to think of, number one requirement, dashboard purpose. Now, when you want to build a dashboard, make sure you have answered all these questions. Why do you need the information and what action will be taken? That is the business problem. You understanding the business problem. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to increase sales, right? For example, we are trying to probably increase sales. We are going to need several business. What are those questions I need to answer to be able to increase sales, to be able to solve that business problem? That is what you are thinking. For example, what are the products that are the biggest revenue drivers? Are these products still the highest generating profit? Are they still the one generating? Are they still our most profitable products? Right? What locations are the biggest revenue drivers? You start to ask all these questions. Should we expand in those locations? Like these are you are a data analyst. You would ask questions. You want to think of your audience. Who is this dashboard meant for? Is it for executives? Who is using your dashboard will determine what kind of dashboard you are building. If you are building a dashboard for non-technical audience, you want to use very simple charts that are easy to understand. If you build and if you put scatter charts for somebody that maybe one banker, let me never use banker because some of them are even steal this thing. Maybe one lawyer or somebody that does not understand anything relating to numbers at all. You're on your own because you would have to explain. So you want to use visuals that are very explanatory enough, right? There's a rule when you are building visuals. At least in the first 5 seconds, somebody should be able to get out something from your dashboard. In that first 5 seconds, I should be able to see probably, maybe even if it's just your revenue drivers or the if you are making a profit or not, something you should be able to take something. There's another thing I will talk about this when I start talking about report design, but I want to just keep chipping this thing in. When you're building dashboard, your dashboard should follow what we call a Z format. And the reason is because people read from left to right. I'm not a fan of, I mean, it's not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong because I see people do it, but I'm not a fan of aligning your KPIs like on the left, and then you now put other visuals, because what you are saying is you're telling people to read from up to down and they'll go up again. People don't read that way. People read from left to right, except maybe you are you are reading Arabic. I think Arabic is right to left, so except that. But if you are reading English or you are reading, like, people read from left to right. So when you're aligning your dashboard, you want to think of those things. So another thing you want to think of, if I digress, what are the KPIs? Right? What are the important things in this information that these people will need? You don't want to put, sometimes people are building dashboard and because of you have 20 numerical columns that you want to put everything as KPI. You will do total order, total customer, total blue, total yellow, total white. Why? How does that tie to the general business objective? Think of each of those KPI you are putting. They need to have meaning tied to the general business objective, which is that problem you are trying to solve. It's not everything that you have to put as a KPI, right? Like sometimes even in an organization, don't the business know how many regions they have? Or like there's some things I see on dashboard sometimes and I feel like they are not necessary. Just makes your dashboard look cluttered. So think of those reasonable KPIs. Next thing is dashboard design. Is your dashboard meant to be exploratory or explanatory? I already explained what these things mean, right? I already explained what these things mean. These things of your exploratory is what, like, you want them filter, slicer, and everything. You want them to be able to go in there and come out with something. Explanatory, you're just telling one clear story that this is the story I want you to come out to take. How many tabs do you envision? By this, I mean, how many pages is this dashboard going to be? Is there a color palette of fonts that should be used? What color variation? Does this organization have like a color theme that I should use? We've not started even talking about report design. When we get there, see, let me tell you something. Let me chip this in now. Ask anyway. See, I've taught students that have gone on to build amazing and great dashboards. Like, and I'm super proud of them, because anytime I see their dashboard online, like, I'm too proud. Like, I'm always proud. I'm always very proud. And if you build rubbish, I will deny you. I did not teach you, because I know what I taught people. And what I would do is see this person and this person, is it the same? No. So please, let's just be very, very, like, don't come and do color riots. We're not, it's not a battle of colors. We'll get there anyways. Let me pause, let me not digress. When we get to report design, I will start talking about all this one. We continue. The next thing you want to think is data discovery. Is there currently a data source? Where is this data coming from? Is it a single source? Am I going to be getting it from multiple sources? Maybe I'll collect this part from Excel, this one from SQL. Where exactly is my data? And how large is my data? These are questions you want to be asking. The last one, where will this dashboard be shared? Are there dates that I should put? What's the naming convention? What should I name it? Are there particular filters that they want on this particular dashboard? These are the things that you want to start thinking about. Okay, let's move on. Now, we have gotten to the main, which is what our first capstone. I mean, we might not be able to finish up, but the next 30 minutes, I'll try to, and I don't want to rush. Like, there's no point. Even if I rush, I'll not be able to finish everything I want to talk about today. So then we have one extra class to go. So let's continue. Our case study, we're going to be building a sales dashboard using the same data that we've been using, right? Let's look at what this thing is saying. It says our objective is to create a sales dashboard for a fictional retail company to provide insights into sales performance, track key metrics, and help management make data-driven decisions. Now, it's telling us that Retail Co, the company is Retail Co, that's the name of the company. And it's a mid-size retail company with multiple branches across several regions, right? The company sells a wide range of consumer products, including electronics, clothing, home goods, and groceries. Now, Retail Co aims to boost sales performance, monitor regional trends, and improve customer satisfaction. Now, the business problem is this. They lack real-time insights into their sales performance, which makes it very challenging to identify what sales trends, the top performing regions, and even potential areas for improvement, right? Now, they need a dashboard that can provide an overview of key sales metrics broken down by time, product, and location. Okay, this includes monitoring their total revenue, total quantity sold, profits, and number of unique customers. Now, I just saw one question. Is there a difference between reports and dashboard? Now, the difference between your reports and your dashboard is this. Now, I'll use Power BI definition. Power BI will tell you that your report is a large collection of visuals, and it can span one or multiple pages. So it can be 5, 6, 7 pages, right? While your dashboard is a summary of the most important things in your reports. So think of high-level information in your dashboard, while your reports contains everything at all, right? That is the definition. And your dashboard is always 1 pages. I'm using Power BI definition. If you go on ChatGPT and ask, it might tell you something else. If you go on another platform, it might tell you something as well. But if you go to Power BI website, this is the difference between a dashboard and a report. And they'll tell you that a dashboard is like always like quickly changing, right? Like it's there. You can be seeing like your daily activities. So just think of what I always I use it interchangeably. Now, your reports can also be a dashboard, or in your dashboard cannot be a report. Your dashboard is 1 page. Report is one or 2 pages. That is what Power BI says. Like I mentioned, you quote me anywhere, that's what Power BI says. Let's continue. What do we want to do? This company is telling us that they want to see total KPI tracking. So they are asking you to design a dashboard that provides real-time updates on their total revenue, quantity sold, profits, and the count of unique customers. They want to see a clear, up-to-date view of their overall performance at a glance. They also want to see a monthly trend analysis. They would like to see a monthly trend analysis for each of these KPIs. What trends, patterns, or seasonality can you identify? Also, are there particular months where we excel and others where we need improvement? They also want to see a year-over-year comparison because it is essential for them to compare their KPIs on a year-over-year basis. They are asking you if you can develop a feature that enables them to evaluate their progress and identify areas that need attention. And lastly, they are also keen to understand how their individual products are performing. How can you help them track the revenue, quantity sold, and profit of each product? Are there specific products that stand out or any that need further promotion or adjustment? Project step, know the objective. Now, before I move to this project step, the reason why I'm just like relaxing is because I don't think we'll be able to start this, but I just want to give you an insight into what we are going to be doing. I don't know if I've covered everything into the quiz that I want to give you, but in case if this thing is low, I'll definitely understand. But I mean, I'll check it again before I push it out. Now, what I want to say is this. In some cases, because I want to be simulating the real world experience, because somebody will ask me now that in real world, would they give me something like this? In some cases, in real world, you get a brief like this. In other cases, marketing will just tell you that, there's a problem somewhere where we realize that we're losing customers. It's you that will sit down and draft all of this brief. You draft question to answer or that will solve that particular business problem. Okay? Or in there are also other cases, you will just be a data analyst, you will see a problem and you will decide to pick that problem up and solve it. So it's not in all cases you get a brief like this. Okay, but for the sake of this practical, because I want to make this, I would even teach you how to, when you have a problem. Oh God, see, I'm giving a lot of things for free. It's almost as if I'm pouring myself. Well, I mean, that's what we do for community. But there's a way you can use like a business. You have your business problem. How you can actually get business questions out of your business problem. I'll teach you that. Don't worry, we'll do it. These are some of the things you want to think about. These are some of the things you will see in the real world scenario. Now, let's look at project steps. Number one, know the objective. What is the objective of this report? Let's track back. What did they say? They want to see sales performance and anything that would actually help them monitor. They want to boost sales performance and anything that will help them monitor regional trends and improve customer satisfaction. Yeah, from here, this line, that's the business objective. So whatever dashboard we are building, they should be able to get insights that will help them make decisions to be able to boost their sales performance. From that dashboard, they should be able to monitor regional trends. Let me see which region is performing better, which country is performing better. They should also be able to see the customers that are buying and not buying. I mean, we might be able to just focus on the first two. I don't know if we have a lot of time to look at because if you let me, don't worry. But let's continue. We know the objective, right? These are project steps, and I'm telling you in real world, that's not the objective, which is understanding the business problem. Number two, understand your data sets. We've been working with these data sets since last week, so by now I will assume that we know these data sets. But in other cases, you would want to look through your tables, examine, and things like that. Number three, clean your data. You know this one. The next thing, do your data modeling. Now, your data modeling can be you splitting your table, or in cases where you have like all the tables already, like the capstone project I'll be giving you guys, the table has already been splitted. All you need to do is connect it. You go and connect it in Power BI. The next thing is data analysis. This is where you're writing your DAX, your calculations, and all that. And last but not the least, data visualization. Are we together? Are we together? Do we understand all of these things? Do we understand all of all these things? So, for what's the time? 16:40. I would have said, let's start to do all these things, but I'm of the opinion that I want to start cooking this. Don't mind me, I'm using word cooking on a fresh brain. I want to boost this. I think somebody said our brain is already sleeping. So let's cook. I just wanted to walk us through the slide so we know. So maybe we would have one more class, right? And I don't know. I wanted to say let's use the Q&A session to begin this, but during the Q&A session, there are always a minimum number of people. That's because I feel like people work. I also do a 9 to 5, so I might be very tired and not be in the frame of mind to do that. But we can, meet next week Saturday. But the problem is the timing, because I my next weekend I have another appointment, but I'll communicate that before the end of today, and before the end of between today and tomorrow, I'll communicate the timing for next week. Like, I did not plan it, so I already had another engagement, but because I don't want to rush this and I want to be able to give you guys a final icing on the cake. You have learned everything. If you are smart enough, you can pick up any data set and start this thing. I mean, I wanted to show you some things before I show you, like the link of data sets. It's already in the folder. We have link to if you go there, you see it. I'm also going to upload your own capstone there, so that in case you want to even start to look at it from now, and if you have questions for me during our Q&A sessions on Thursday, we're going to have a Q&A session on Thursday as usual. Thursday night, Thursday 8 p.m. we'll do that Q&A session. So if you have that, you can ask if you have any questions based on everything we've been learning from the beginning of this bootcamp, bring it there. Anything data analytics related, in fact, just bring it there, right? What else do I want to share? Then on Saturday next week, we'll try to build this and get our final capstone. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody that stayed up to. It's not easy. I know, even me that I'm teaching too, it's not easy for me, but even you that are learning, it's not easy for you. So I appreciate you guys. You don't like I really appreciate you guys. You don't understand. All right. If you want to appreciate me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell people to subscribe. Like, are people not enjoying what we are doing here? Like, it's a gem. You won't. I'm telling you for free that you will not get this. You will not get this thing for free anywhere. And I'm putting it on a platter of gold, and I'm pouring my oil. So please tell people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my videos. I have a lot of other videos on here. Watch, like, subscribe. Beg people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If there's something that you have learned, there's something that you have learned throughout this boot camp, go online, talk about it. And also, I mentioned that I'm going to be giving free slots to my Power BI this thing. We're going to talk about that next in the last class, right? We're going to talk about that. What else do I want to share? I hope we have filled attendance. I mentioned key code is 19. So we're going to look at publishing to Power BI service. I think somebody said it's big issue. We're going to look at that as well, but we have to build something we're going to publish, right? So we're going to do that. And what else? I'm trying to see if there's anything I'm missing out that I should mention. I think Elizabeth has shared all the link. Please, people should every day, people should let me be using. If you have 24 hours, let me use 21 hours to thank Elizabeth, because she has been amazing and she has made this bootcamp really listen. I'm seeing a lot of persons saying let it be on Sunday, well, we'll determine that in the group. I'll consider that. Elizabeth, please, what's the hashtag for those that are asking? Power BI Project Club. Hashtag Power BI Project Club. Yes, that's the distinct hashtag to share on social media. Hashtag Power BI Project Club. I think this question this person asked, I've already answered it. So I'm sure she would, when she gets to the recording, she would answer it. Thank you, guys. I want to give you guys 15 minutes back. Please, if you have questions, please watch the recordings. Watch the recordings. It's very important. Watch the recordings. Like, watch it so that next week when you come, you're not lost. Okay, guys. I really, I'm so excited that we've been able to get to here. I mean, see where we started from the basic. Like, you can beat your chest now to say, I can do data cleaning in Power BI. I can do data modeling in Power BI. So a big round of applause to all of you as well. So there's a document in the drive. It contains link to data sets if you want to practice. But I'll put you both capstone projects in the drive too today. That one I would also give you. Don't worry, I'll give you objectives. But I've already mentioned, like, in some cases, this thing. And also, if you want to sign up for them, don't forget registration is going on for the Power BI Portfolio Incubator Program. Please, If you want to register, please do. There's a discount ongoing. I don't know how long that will last, but take advantage. Take advantage. I'm going to leave that discount till at least first week of September, because I feel like a lot of persons will be waiting for them to collect salary before they want to pay for it. So I'll leave that discount till first week of this thing, September. Don't worry. When we'll talk about when we submit the capstone later, since we did not finish the class. I know you already this thing. Don't worry. We'll talk about submission later. Let's leave that one. By the way, let's do something. We still have 10 minutes. If you have learned Power BI before, right, and you're learning Power BI again, drop in the comment section what's the difference. Or if you think that if you think I've done a good job, or if you think there's something else that I'm missing out. I'm seeing a lot of Sundays. Oh. Like people are always free on Sundays. Oh, somebody said I can become a good presenter and public speaker. Oh my God, nobody will believe that I'm a very shy person. Oh, thank you so much, Humphrey. I really appreciate. This attendance link that is not always working. Please, if the attendance link is not working, maybe later on you just put it in Slack. Elizabeth will reach out to you. Please, let's engage on the Slack. See, don't worry. You know what? We have another session. Maybe during our Q&A session, we'll do a session during our closing session. I would walk you through that Slack platform and what you should do. For those people that are looking for accountability partner, it's a very great place to network. Most of the people I have as friends in the community now, I met Elizabeth. I met her in the community. I don't know Elizabeth from anywhere, but I met her in the community. It's not like maybe we are related or anything. So you have to you really need to network, okay? You really need to network. Please, I don't want to become a lecturer. This one, as somebody said, I can become a good lecturer. No, please. Oh, God. Oh, look at somebody saying you have done a wonderful job. I took a Power BI class that I even paid for, but they didn't teach me DAX and the rest. Just cleaning and visualization. You're doing very well. You see, this is interesting. This training is more detailed. You made me understand Power Query. Oh, you guys are going to make me cry. Love the feedback. Love the please. Oh, we have a feedback form. People should fill that feedback form, please. Also, you can leave this feedback online. At least like let people know the amazing thing that we've done on here. It's very, very important. On all my social media platforms, aside from LinkedIn, I'm at Rita_Tina. That's Tyna. So in case you want to connect with me on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, I'm Rita_Tyna. So at Rita_Tyna. So, but if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm Tina Okonkwo. I got a lot of connection requests and I'm still accepting that, and I will get there. If we have a pending conversation, please permit me. It's been a very crazy, the past 2 weeks have been crazy. I would reach out to you definitely. It's in my to-do list. By the way, we've come to the end of today's class. So in case you are rushing somewhere or you have somewhere to be or you want to leave, you can actually leave now. I really love the feedback. So you guys should use the feedback form, please. In case you want to tell me anything, please, you can drop it on. I read them. In case you think I'm not reading them, in fact, every time before I enter this class is the first thing I go and check, because whatever people are mentioning, I mean, there are some things that I cannot do. Like some people tell me, 2 hours, oh, let's do in the night because of time difference. I'm so sorry. I wish I could, but I'm trying to like really balance a lot of things, right? But I still want to hear those feedback. So it will help me plan the next one. Oh, blessing, Ojo. I love this. No one taught me Power BI. I figured it out. But after this bootcamp, I've grown from beginner to intermediate. Love it. Oh, this one says, I used to think I knew Power BI until now. Thanks, Tina. Oh, Amaka is saying I can beat my chest and say that I understand data modeling very well. Oh, I love this feedback from Adebayo. You are the best teacher I've ever come across. You are well detailed in explanation and problem solving solutions. Oh, this means a lot. You guys are going to make me cry. Maybe after this class, I would actually go and cry. Chuku James, please just bring this your question to this thing because even my brain have shut down for the day. Bring it to our Q&A session or put it in the this thing. I want to create a very long, detailed Q&A document with all the questions I've gotten from the feedback form. So it will be very easy for those that maybe I answer their question and they are not around. They can go this thing. By the time we finish building our project, our dashboard, if you can build it, you can beat your chest and say you're a data analyst. Oh, look at somebody saying, "Oh, thanks, Tina from Kenya. Lots of love from Ghana." Oh my goodness, look at we are so. Sometimes I always think like we are just Nigerians on here, so that's why I keep saying um Nigerian. Uh, I like your way. It's really beginner friendly. Thank you. You made data modeling so easy. You're the best teacher ever on this. Oh God, I should screenshot all these things because I don't think I'll see it after the live. So this is really beautiful, honestly. I want to read it again. This is so beautiful, you guys. By the way, I'm on TikTok too at Rita underscore Tina. I know some persons joined from TikTok, so please go and follow me on TikTok too. When I'm not analyzing data, I'm being goofy on there. But I mean, you still learn a lot of data stuffs there. I mean, I post a lot of data stuffs. If you came from there, you know I posted about this bootcamp on there. Oh, look at there are UK people on here. You really dissect Power BI. You took basket. Thank you. Thank you, Tina. I admire your heart for teaching. I got great value. Oh, means a lot. Oh, God answered my Power BI crisis through you. Love you. Oh no, this is hilarious. oh, oh God. I love this. You got people from the US too. Can you imagine? Like, see how data has brought all of us together. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Much love from Burkina Faso. Interesting. Oh, I love this. Just told my wife you teach with so much confidence and you know your onions. Oh my God, I love this. Please, the code for today is 19. Oh, Stella Okonkwo. I've seen a lot of Okonkwas on this place, by the way. I think Okonkwo people like data. Oh. In my first Power BI class, I was floating, not understanding. But with the simplicity on how you teach, make me fully grasp all what it takes to be a data analyst. You made that very easy to understand. Oh, this means a lot. Okay, I think we are 6 minutes on the time, so I'll be ending the live very soon. I mean, I'll be talking for 3 hours, but I'm so happy to get all of your feedbacks. So, are you married? Your Baba is the luckiest one. This one is hilarious, I beg. Oh, this is the first time hearing Power BI because I met the best tutor I've met online. I want to learn from you personally and be able to. Oh, this is really nice. Please sign up for the Power BI Projects Incubator Program. Don't tell me. See, please, I'm begging you to sign up now. And because once I start, this one we're allowing people. Once it starts, I won't like people won't join again, and I will not lie for you. I don't know when next the second one will hold. I don't know when next the second one will hold, but thank you, everyone. And I mean, goodbyes are sad, but it's not necessarily goodbye. We're still going to see again. but it's been amazing, amazing spending all this time with you guys. So I'll see you guys at the Q&A on Thursday. Please, oh, thank Elizabeth too. People should not do all this thank you to me. Oh, Elizabeth is amazing. I'm sure you've been seeing all our messages on the Slack. So, just two people doing all these things together. It's like you see, the team is very small. It's been crazy. I mean, there are a lot of other persons in the background, Zainab, Chinenye, Victoria, but they are more focused on our WhatsApp community. So, like, it just very, don't worry, very soon you'll get to understand what the Power BI Project Club is all about. Oh my God, somebody's joining from Paris. Thanks a lot, Tina. Love from Paris. I love this. Oh, I would say like the other person that, yeah, my Power BI prayer answered. Interesting. I got value for free. Thank you for doing this. Elizabeth, please paste the link to the drive again. No worry, you'll get all those links after the session. The link to the drive, link to recording. Elizabeth does a great job at posting that immediately after every session. So you would see that. For all of you saying you love me, I love you guys. All right. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you. Please, if you want to say more nice things, please use the feedback form. Drop something really nice for me, so that when I wake up in the morning, like as I'm ending, because I'm reading it, I'll just be smiling and I'll be happy and I'll be getting a lot of joy. Um, Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great, great week. Bye.